Get free tech advice for your business from O2 Gurus. Search O2 Business for more.
Hey guys, welcome to Btekt. It's Basil here, and it's another trade show, Mobile World Congress 2015. I'm in Barcelona, and today we get to talk about the HTC One M9. This is an all-metal phone, and the leaks were pretty spot on. It looks a lot like the HTC One M8. While it retains the design highs of its predecessor, it pairs them with the edgier aesthetic of the HTC One M7 before it, which is an interesting move, but it also introduces a new machining process. The One M9 is the first phone that we've seen, and HTC claims the first phone to sport a dual metal finish body. What does that mean? Inspired by luxury watches, the phone has two tones. The flagship, I guess, has a gold tone around the sides, and it's silver brushed metal around the back. Gold is in, and this is inspired by luxury and fashion, and it definitely feels luxurious and expensive in the hand. When held side by side with the HTC One M8, the first thing that jumps out at you are how it's definitely significantly edgier. While it's not as soft, therefore, it's definitely grippier, easier to hold, and more difficult to drop. It's practically the same footprint as the M8, with the boom sound speakers making it quite a tall device. It's 9.6 millimeters thin and 157 grams. That means it's 0.2 millimeters thicker than the HTC One M8, but it's 3 grams lighter. Compared to other phones, it's a little bit heavy and a little bit thick, but boy, when you get it in the hand, this thing feels beautiful. Bookending the screen are the boom sound speakers. This time around, they're powered by Dolby. Given this makes the phone quite tall, the power button has moved from the top of the phone to the right-hand side of the phone. Also, you've got the volume buttons there, as well as a micro SD card slot. Down at the base, you've got a 3.5mm headphone jack and a micro USB connector, while on the left-hand side, you've got a nano SIM slot. Up at the top, it's just an infrared blaster, and around the back is a 20-megapixel rear-facing camera and a dual-tone flash, one warm, one cool for better white balance. Has HTC done enough when it comes to the design? Well, ultimately, this is the richest feeling Android phone I've ever held. The gold accents also give it a little bit of feminine appeal too, without making it too feminine. It's a truly unisex device. Generally, therefore, the HTC One M8 was awesome design-wise, and this is awesomer. That a word? Now onto the screen, and if you thought the design was similar to the M8, this is taking it to the next level. It's a 5-inch screen with a full HD resolution and a 441 pixel per inch pixel density. Identical. It's also SLCD3 technology as well. Having said that, it does look a little bit different. The colors are touch cooler, and it just looks a tiny bit more superficial, but ultimately you can expect a great screen, because you could expect a great screen on the One M8. We're really happy HTC hasn't gone for a Quad HD resolution panel. If you guys think we're wrong, let us know in the comments, but I think you're wrong, because this means the 2840 milliamp battery will actually last hopefully a full day. Remains to be seen, but the full HD panel as opposed to Quad HD panel gives it the best chance possible of doing so. One thing that is new is a version of Sense, HTC's user interface. It sits on top of Android 5.0, Lollipop. It pulls a few elements in from stock Android, like the notifications tray, and you can also adjust the number of home screens you have. You've got Blink Feed as well, and the applications tray. This can be adjusted to a 3x4 grid or a 4x5 grid, and looks very, very clean. What's truly awesome about HTC Sense 7 is the inclusion of themes and a brand new contextual widget. The themes give you the option to soften the whole feel of your phone or masculine it up a bit. It's up to you. Just take a picture of something, be it a fluffy teddy bear, a cat, or a fast car, and you can create an entire theme in a matter of seconds around it. Really, really awesome stuff. As for the contextual widget, it sits on the home screen and populates itself with applications that you use on a daily basis based on your location. It's very similar to the lock screen cover. Samsung has something very similar in the Note 4 and the Note Edge. The HTC One M9 also plays nice with the dot view case, and this time around there's a dot view manager that lets you do a whole load of things, even change your background for your dot view case, as well as swap out themes, etc. So even though we haven't actually got final software here, here, we're stoked with what HTC's done with Sense. In many ways, it's actually better than stock Lollipop, so bravo there. As for the camera combination, this is an interesting one. A 20 megapixel rear-facing f2.0 camera and a front-facing ultra-pixel camera, lifted straight from the HTC One M9's back side. It hasn't got a flash, but it has a wide-open f2 aperture, so should let loads of light in to give you decent low-light performance. And indeed, in my experience with it, it does just that. The main camera, less impressive. It's a big number, 20 megapixels, and in great light, it can capture loads of detail. The digital zoom is also much better than that of its predecessor. Having said that, as soon as you start to drop the lights, the performance wanes quickly. Noise creeps in super fast, and you just don't get the caliber of shots that you got even from the HTC One M9, which is really upsetting. Though that said, the dual tone flash does seem to do a great job of brightening everything up and keeping white balance in check at the same time. The modes on the HTC One M9's camera are pretty great though. The duo camera effects that were loaded on the HTC One M9 have kind of been shifted over. You've got a bokeh mode so you can blur out the background retrospectively, but you do have to flick to that mode. It doesn't take it like that automatically. On top of that, you've got manual settings and you can do something called face merge, which we've seen before, where you get two faces and squish them together. There's also plenty of post-processing you can do. You can cross-process your images, you can make triangular patterns with an image with it. It's all quite weird, but it's quite cool as well. A lot of fun to tinker about with. Mingling the specs and the multimedia highlights together, it really does make sense to talk about storage. The HTC One M9 has 32 gig as standard. This alone is awesome, but you also get a micro SD card slot, so you can expand that by 128 gigabytes. Again, awesome, but add 100 gig of Google Drive space on top of that, free for 2 years, and you are laughing. For any gamers out there, you'll know immediately just how good that news about the internal memory is. You'll also get a ton of room for your music and movies to ramp out of those boom sound speakers. The processor is a top-of-the-range Qualcomm Snapdragon 810 chipset. 64-bit architecture with 8 cores, 4 of them clocked at 2 GHz, 4 clocked at 1.5 GHz. You've also got 3 gig of RAM, a first from HTC. This combination will blitz through Antutu's benchmarking tests, for example, scoring 55,518 and bettering, well, pretty much every other phone on the market. Connections include Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, and obviously you've got 4G on here, but what kind of 4G? Up to Cat 9 4G, if indeed your carrier supports it. In the UK, it'll be Cat 6 LTE if you're lucky enough to be on EE. Hopefully other networks will catch up soon. In plain English, that means you get about 150 meg down. With a 2840 milliamp battery, it's much improved over its predecessor, even though the screen is the same size. This bodes well for battery life, as the HTC One just fell short of the mark. Fingers crossed the Snapdragon 810 is efficient enough to make this thing last a full day. Unfortunately, we haven't had our pre-production version in long enough to tell you whether it will or won't. We'll have to wait till we get a review device, but hopefully you've enjoyed our hands-on with the HTC One M9. I know I have. If you've got any questions about it, fire them in the comments section below. Should be getting a review device in very soon. If you like the video, click like, and if you like the channel, make sure you subscribe to Btekt, and also check out our new website. We've just had it completely redone. If you do, you'll be in with a chance of winning some very cool competition prizes. Thanks for watching.